next scheduled live stream is Saturday. Will it go off? I don't know. I 50-50 because things are going to go crazy, right? Things are about to get. I think things are about to get really, really crazy. So, if you didn't know, Israel. The initial report was somehow we bombed, we drone struck or something a building, a room in the middle of Tehran to take out Hamas's leader, which is just incredible, right? I mean, that's just absolutely incredible. Now they're saying that it was a bomb they smuggled in about 3 months before, right? Either way, I'm very happy about it. Don't be wrong. I do like the way the media is calling Hanania. Oh, he was a moderate. Really? I don't think any of them are moderates, frankly. Not at all. But yeah, no, that was good. But obviously Iran is going to, and this is a big slap in the face to Iran. When I say a big slap in the face, it's like somebody getting their dick out and slapping it across your face, right? It is a big deal. Now the new it was done while the new supreme leader, or whoever they are, it was being inaugurated or whatever they do. Right, so it's even worse, like striking in Iranian territory. So they got to come back and be reasonably ancient. So the new leader they were installing, or whatever it is, inaugurating, is much more hard-line and less warm and fluffy than his predecessor, who they think was killed by this guy, essentially because he's just too warm and fluffy to Israel, right? So specifically to Israel, right? So that really sets an interest. So what's really going on with that? Well, firstly, we are expecting a massive retaliation response, and we will probably retaliate massively as well. I don't see a way of this not spiraling into a global conflict rather than a regional conflict. And I think much like World War I, why did World War I happen? Because it was way too much trouble to stop it, and the people in charge, like today, are absolute morons, right? Absolute morons who like the idea of war. So, what do I think is really going on, right? Well, several things. I think, as I say, pretty much every stream. I think this is the end of days, and I think we've been in it for years, and I think we're heading to some kind of messianic revelation, right? Whatever. Messianic age, right? That will make everyone's life groovy and wonderful. And that's really what I would like. I would like everybody's life to be groovy and wonderful. And the good thing is, if we get the Jewish Messianic age, that means you don't have to be Jewish. You get to keep eating bacon. Oh, man, bacon's so good. Oh, bacon is so good. I tell you, the things you give up for the good Lord. Bacon and shiksas, which is better? I don't know. I mean, look. I always thought it was weird, right? I went to a Jewish school, JFS, Jewish Free School. Used to be in Camden Town, and when I was a young man, I was dating girls from school because that's where you see them. But then I started hooking up with non-Jewish girls from the pub, right? About my age. Okay, so much easier, so much less work. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, and I'm not like dissing it. It was just genuinely from a rabbi's eye view, so much less work, right? So yeah, all on board for that. But where was I going with that? Now I have to backtrack. I got caught on the chickses, as they say in Israel. I can't say it that well. So what's going on? Here's what I think, right? And I don't know if it's true, right? I don't know if it's true. But I think this fits all the facts as I know them. And I can also see this kind of fitting into God's sense of humor of how the reality runs. But here's my thoughts, right? I think, a couple of weeks ago, how long was it? Like 2 weeks ago, the Trump assassination attempt. Now, the simplest explanation for that, right? For how did this kid get in, get to the roof, get seen, threw a drone overhead, got seen by law enforcement, got seen by the pilot. They were alerted like 3 hours in advance, an hour in advance, was it 20 minutes in advance and 2 minutes in advance, and they still didn't get Trump off the stage, right? So what's the simple explanation? It was an inside job, right? There are elements within the Secret Service that were in on it. They said, oh no, he's a friendly. Don't worry about it. By the way, they've been caught lying again. Check this out. Let me find it. Hang on. There we go over here. Oh, not that one. That's gross. We should get to that as well. We should only get to that. Where is it? We don't put it over here. No, we'll put it over here. No. Hang on. I thought I had it. I will probably see it the minute I give up and try and download it again. No, I don't see it. Maybe I didn't download it. Right? That's stupid of me. Fine. Let me just, because they found more footage showing them the Secret Service just lie blatantly. Right? Yeah. Okay. So you either believe in they screwed up. The guy got lucky. Million to 1 chance, million to 1 chance, million to 1 chance. Or it was an inside job, right? That's the only two, viable case scenarios as far as I can see it here. So that even more footage came out now. The story was that the Secret Service weren't able to see the shooter because it was hiding behind a tree, right? And he wasn't visible at all. So this is footage from one of the victims who was shot in the arm and I think in the chest, maybe, or the abdomen, and like just before the shooting happened, right? And don't share screen. Oh, wrong one. Hang on. Video file. That's the one I got to click. Doink. Right, they said he was in the prone position. He was invisible. You can literally see him running on the bloody road. This one with the red circle on it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. The world will see a vibrant Republican. Like, look. I mean, that's the second time you saw him. At the beginning, you see him. Where is it? Yeah. I'll find where the red circle is. Right, so they were lying again, and this was literally taken by one of the people who were shot. Right, so it's like, I mean, again, the simplest answer was there are people involved in it. It was an inside job, right? Not saying the entirety of the Secret Service. Not saying I'm just thinking it was maybe one or two key positions. I'm kind of reminded, right, when they had the whole Dominion arc going on in Deep Space Nine, and Earth is like falling into totalitarianism somewhat. Right, because they're freaked out, and Cisco's on Earth, and then O'Brien walks up, and he knows O'Brien's on Deep Space Nine, so he knows he's a changeling, and the changeling is saying that all the things they're talking about, that's not us. We're not doing it. This is all bonkers, right? This is not real. He said, "How many changelings do you think are on Earth?" And he says, "Hundreds." And 3. Right? He said, only 3. He said, oh, that's more than enough, right? I remember that. Oh, it's more than enough, right? He chuckles to himself. And I think so. You could get away with doing this with a very few people. But here's what I think was going to happen, because it was impossible that he wasn't killed. It's insane that he wasn't shot. I mean, literally. I mean, like the shot was going right there. I thought that was it going. I know, but he like turned his head and like he was dead center. Oh my God, he turned his head. Must be as he's pulling the trigger, right? Unless there was another gunman on that water tower. But who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows? Whizzes through his ear and he survives, right? And I think that's miraculous, right? I really do. I think that's breaking the natural order. In Judaism, we call it derech hateva, right? We're breaking that natural order. So I think they assumed Trump would be dead by now, right? The intelligence services, who I think were pretty much involved with it. I think Nikki Haley would probably be the nominee for the Republicans, and you would have Harris or Biden, but it wouldn't make any difference. All these people are completely beholden and owned by the military-industrial complex, right? All of the, I mean, like Haley, well, again, and they're all always got a hard on for war, right? They just want more war, right? So I think the plan was that either Nikki Haley or Biden or whoever or Harris would come together and say, no, we are. They would blame the Iranians for it. That's what I think. I think they would blame Iran. There was intelligence that Iran had put out a hit on Trump. Okay, I mean, again, makes a lot of sense. He's the bad news for Iran if Trump becomes president, right? So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. But I think they would have pinned it on Iran and used that as a pretext for a very escalated or completely open all-out war. But that didn't happen, right? That didn't happen. So now they got the problem that, like if their sea of lies about everything doesn't work, and I don't think it's going to, then Trump will be president in November, right? Which means no more wars. Like he's a very anti-war president. He didn't start new wars, and he was curtailing all of them, right? I think because he's basically a moral person, and I only think that because they've been harangued so long by every insane investigation in the world, right? And then they take the Trump derangement investigations as proof they must be doing something wrong. Well, he's being investigated so much. No, he's been investigated so much just because he's Donald Trump. Anyway, so that's the problem for them. Now, this week in Israel, right, we had a very successful, I think, was it missile attack, drone attack, or bombing raid on Beirut as a response to. Now, okay, this seemed natural to me. It's in a response to there was a missile from Hezbollah that landed in a playground, killing about 11 kids. It was horrible. I mean, again, in England, you got your own thing going on there. It's just horrible, right? Absolutely horrible. And it was a big thing. You had all the bodies being buried, and it was a Druze village, which means it wasn't Jewish. It was Arab, right? They may be Christians or maybe Muslims. I don't know. But it was very important for Israel as a whole that we responded, basically to because we're not racist. So, everything's that, you oppress the Palestinians because you hate brown people. No, none of those things are true, right? None of those things are right. But that's where all the Israel criticism comes from. It's a veiled swipe at calling us racist, right? Which they just love to do, right? So we had that go on, and that was very successful. And then, 2 days ago, we took out the head of Hamas, Hanania. And I was ecstatic about that. I was like, yes! Oh, yes. That, even though I knew this is taking us into, we're into a new phase of the war now, right? I think they said that in Iran today. We are in a new phase, new phase of this war. What that will look like, I don't know. But will I be here on Saturday to a stream? I know they're saying if one of the things they'll try and do straight away is knock out our infrastructure, our power. And we got Israel's now saying they can get power back onto all of Israel within 12 to 48 hours. I'm like, well, you can do it. I mean, they must have been training for this for quite some time. But here's the point. There's no way either of these things would have been done without the Americans knowing about it, right? Because it's just diplomatically impossible, right? No way. And I think with a lot of intelligence service, CIA, NSA, whoever it is, help, right? I think that it was, maybe had satellite information or that. I don't know. I think they were very much on board. Now, here's the thing I don't have an answer to. Why is America so into Israel, right? Why? I'm assuming, again, this is an intelligence hub, which is very, very important to the CIA, like very, very important, which is why they've really protected us for all this time. Now, I look at things from a theological point of view, and I think that God arranged things thus so Israel would survive. We are surrounded by all our enemies who have tried to kill us many times over, right? Like, it's not like, we got a bit drunk. No, many times over. So I think these attacks, from Israel, taking out Hanania, taking out, which again, I'm ecstatic about for several reasons, were directed by the CIA or whoever it is to as a plan B. Because let's say Iran is going to step up and escalate, then we're going to escalate, then America's going to come in, then Russia will come in, right? And there'll be escalation, right? And it'll be a real war. It will be a real war. And it'll be too advanced by November if when Trump becomes president to stop it. Like in Russia, Ukraine, it's not really a theological difference. It's Russia wants their land bridge to Crimea, to the warm water seaport, right? That's exactly what it's about. Here is a very theological difference. We Jews feel this is our this land was given to us by God, not to we let other people live here, but in Judaism, the intrinsic connection between the land of Israel and the Jewish people, it's so, again, I say this many times, it's that before this exile started 2,000 years ago, that people thought it couldn't happen because you can't be Jewish without living in Israel. There's too many connections, right? So, I think God arranged, somehow we have an intelligence hub here to protect us, essentially, because I think this is where, the groovy new messianic age will emanate from. Again, this is my bonkers worldview. I'm a religious guy. What do I tell you? This is what all that stuff means. So that's what is going on. I think this is part of a some kind of military-industrial complex, CIA, intelligence service operation to spark a war that can't be stopped easily, right? Maybe it can be stopped with decisive action. I do not know. Anyway, all this is freakishly what I predicted, right? I know I predicted stuff before and been 100% wrong, which is what I expected this time, right? I really did. We're just entering the second. We're about 2.5 weeks into what's called a week and a half into what's called the 3 weeks. It's a special mourning period for Israel, where things are bad for us, right? Like we have a lot of tragedies in this time, and so we have different levels of mourning, starting from Monday night or Sunday night. No wine and no meat, none of that till Friday for Sabbath. And then when we get to next Tuesday, I think it's a 25-hour fast. And oh god, it's always miserable. So this is a really powerful. So I thought that things are going to get really, really crazy in this time. And the rabbi friend of mine who very much thinks so. Right? I think things will get like really, really crazy, and then hopefully things will be over quickly. I think things will be over quickly because I look round at my contemporaries about everywhere, and they just don't have the balls to be scared. Right? They just don't have it. Right? They don't have the backbone. I mean, it's it's saying. I mean, like people don't have the backbone to. A great example was it a few years ago when the local rabbi who stole thousands of dollars off me. They solicited me to supplement his salary, and I gave it, and man, that they didn't offer it back is incredible. Because he was very openly violating, and in a very visceral sense, the Torah, Jewish law, the essence of Judaism, right? And because it was socially unacceptable to criticize the rabbi, apart from me, I'm like saying, "What the fuck? He can't do that, right? That's trafe. No." It was like, "You cunts me," right? Then the reason they were like, "You cunts me," is because they're crushing conformists, right? And they're terrified to step up. So I don't think they have the stones for real terror, right? So I think when real terror comes, I extended real terror. I think when real terror comes, it's going to be over quickly, right? Which is my hope, but who knows? But yeah, look, things are really shaping up. They really are saying things are going to kick off. So I think if I'm here on Saturday to stream, I'm great. If I'm not, I'll try and let you know what's going on, right? I will try and I've got to make sure my wife has an EV, electric car, and so we got to make sure that bugger's charged up. So at least we can recharge our phones, from it. Who wants to go anywhere? We're fine. I'll have, whatever, food from the pantry. It'll be fine. Oh, they say we won't have running water either. We got all these bottles of water freaking everywhere. And we've had since like November last year. Oh, God. Pain in the ass. Anyway, so that is all what I think is going down with that. At the same time, we have the bizarro-vilness of the of what's going on in England. In England, a young man attacked a Taylor Swift dance class with a bunch of kids, murdering 2 or 3, and 8 are injured. It's horrific. It's beyond horrific, right? And almost originally they said no, nothing to do with terrorism. No, this man he's a normal Englishman. He's from Wales. Now, nobody really believed that, right? Nobody really believed that, because I think the English are coming to terms with the, I think, increasingly radical nature of much of a large section of their Muslim population, right? I mean, you do have genocidal marches throughout London, and many times over, calling for the death of all Jews, essentially, right? And if you say things, no, it is, you do what, you will not provocate us. It is a provocation. Well, how about calling for the death of all Jews? Is that provocation? No, they deserve to die. I think you guys are getting. There's a significant, and I'm not saying the majority at all, right? I think there's a significant portion of the influx of immigrants, and basically from different cultures, who don't like British values, who don't share British values, don't share the multiculturalism of Britain, right? Britain is an incredibly anti-racist country, open country that likes to be good, that likes to bring people in, that likes to help, and I think all that stuff has been traded on. Anyway, so multiculturalism has been massively failing. We saw some thugs attack the police, right? And the police had to, attack back. And a out of context video was shared with it. Almost immediately, the police are suspended. They're taking a knee. Said, "Oh, can we meet with your community leaders? Can we please?" And that's what happens every time. "Oh, can we meet? Will it be a provocation?" I mean, it's so weird, right? It's so freaking weird. But the problem is, we've just been lied to over and over again, and they lie to us to cover up this just disgraceful behavior, right? This absolute disgraceful behavior. Look, check this tweet out. And I'll say it mostly, way too often, right? It all ends up that whatever's weird is going on is tied to one ethnic minority. And I really want to be clear, as somebody who lives and works with Muslims and Arabs, right? I think the majority are decent people. We're going to see that in a minute. Majority are really good, decent people, right? But once they're coming from cultures like Algeria and Africa, it's they have very different attitudes, right? Very non-English attitudes, I would say, very hateful, very looking down at women, seeing women as second-class citizens. That if you don't wear a hijab, it's okay to sexually assault them. I mean, we see this happening, and we see it happening all across Europe, and they keep lying to us. No. So this, I think this tweet really says it all. 3 Welsh men have been jailed for a total of 15 years after another man was kidnapped and assaulted. Hashtag Smethic from Smethic last year. And again, it's so often these types of faces. So they haven't released the face of this attacker. And it's quite evident why. So people don't buy it, right? People do not buy that this was a normal Welsh guy. So apparently he's got the same parentage as Ncuti Gatwa, right? And here, so finally they had to release a picture of him. And again, the spin, the desperate protection of these thugs, of these genuinely violent thug. So they released this picture of him when he was 13. Again, it looks like a cute little school kid, right? And I think that's to make you go, he couldn't have done anything too bad, right? He couldn't have done anything too bad. And this is how he looked in court, right? Covering his face, little cunt. So, look, basically, I think a lot of people in England just don't feel safe, right? Women have been saying this for a long time. They don't feel safe walking down the street, right? They are leered at by people from different continents, and people have just had enough, right? I mean, that's really the way people are just... Oh, man, let's close the window. People have just had enough. Hang on 1 second, doink. There you go. And so anyway, so there was a protest in, what was it, Southport, where it happened, which became violent. And I don't know if the police were involved in making it violent or if there was an outside element. I don't know. I know people are angry, right? Why? Because the section of the British community, which is new to England, seem to not be adopting British values and is so often the perpetrators of violence. Are treated with kid gloves whenever they protest. They're like, oh, please, again, can we talk to your community leaders? Oh, we got to liaise with, we have to understand you better, right? But if somebody white does that, no fucking way. Oh, then anything gets crazy. So let's have a look at this. We got a bunch of these things to look at. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Video file. Well, we have to look at that in a bit as well. Okay, we're certainly going to look at that. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Doink had a whole process. So here, let's start with this one. So the protest in London and a few other cities, I think, they were totally shut down by the mob-heavy police in riot gear, who I don't think police in riot gear have ever shown up to an anti-Israel rally, have they? Right? They're just you.
Because eventually it's going to be one of you. You're in the right guy.
It's true. He is right. Eventually it is going to be one of them. Right?
You look like writers, women, handicapped people here. You have to treat it like a criminal here and criminal.
I look at this Sikh gentleman. I mean, he speaks. I got another clip of him. He speaks so well, right? And he's such a credit to his community. Oh, honestly, there should be a wall of Muslims from mosques doing exactly the same thing, right? Walking side by side, shoulder to shoulder with the British, because they are British, right? Like this guy is British.
I'm rolling around freely with machetes, and you are here in the right gear to stop us? No, it's not right. It's not right. With the law-abiding citizens, our kids are being killed, and we are being stopped. No.
The country is being flooded by just a ridiculous number of illegal immigrants every day. People have had enough.
System is failed. They are failed. They are failed. You failed us.
See, again, I want to point out, this guy is super British, right? Just you can't get more British than this guy. And yet, which I think just completely deflates every argument. Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're so racist for not loving, unlimited open immigration from very dodgy places in the world.
No more. No more. This can't be keep going on, and you stop us in the right gear that we are criminals. We are not criminals. I need to save my kids. Today. No.
Yeah, okay. They're not criminals, right? And boy, were they treated like criminals. Disgusting. Oh, absolutely disgusting. So here, let's listen to this. So then so first for some reason, they didn't let people leave who were protesting, right? And they weren't doing anything violent at all. But look at this. It's horrible. This woman's had enough. She's going to leave.
But isn't that illegal?
Are they under arrest? Are they under caution? Look, this seems to be like an illegal detainment to me. This doesn't look like they're following lawful orders. And it certainly doesn't look like there's a one-tier level of policing. This is disgusting.
I told you, you need to stay. You need to stay in here.
Why? Why does she need to stay there? And you know what? A week ago, Keir Starmer was crying his eyes out saying, oh, those awful police. They were so bad for, stopping thugs who were attacking and broke the nose of a police officer, of a female police officer. Right? Now he's saying, oh, I stand with you. Oh, I stand with you so much. These are normal people. They've never been in trouble with the law before. So that I thought that was horrible. And then there's this other one. Look at this, right? Look at this again. I am shocked that this is the country I grew up in, a country I love. I love England.
To me, you've just all. I've got a pacemaker. I've got a pacemaker. I've got a pacemaker, and they've just arrested me for walking up here.
No, to reach the section 35.
Oh, because they're. You want to do them any time?
I mean, they think saying this like idiot mantra. Oh, section 34. No, you're full of shit. You can't. Just because you can wrap it up in your nonsense, right? In your nonsense rules and regulations that are designed to protect violent criminals and arrest law-abiding citizens doesn't make it just moral or even fucking legal.
That's why I'm trying to lock them so they can stop getting tight.
Well, actually, you're really tightening them.
Well, I'm not.
You really are.
Why is she even in fucking handcuffs? And why were any of the violent protesters that have been going on and all the violence from the same fucking people ever in handcuffs? Why are the police running away from them? And God forbid they'll put riot gear. Oh, we don't want to provoke the community. We don't give a shit about provoking your indigenous population.
I'm tightening them, and you're really making me. You what?
So can you relax?
You're joking.
5 seconds.
Are you joking? I've never.
Can you relax? You just arrested me for walking down the street. You picked me up for no reason. You got me in handcuffs. I'm 72 years fucking old with a pacemaker. I got my hands tied behind my back for no fucking reason other than your fascist thugs. And I say fascists. Oh, the fascists were National Socialists. Don't forget they were socialists, right? They, of course, they're not going to fucking relax. Treat me. How about this? If I say death to Israel, will you let me go? Well, of course, sir.
I've been arrested in my life.
Madam.
I have.
Madam. Now, don't get upset that we're cunts.
Don't you, miss? Don't you? I have never been arrested in my life. I'm 73
All we're saying is we're going to treat you like shit and destroy your life.
years old. And I have come here because of them.
Why don't you listen to what she's fucking saying? No, you're too busy listening to Sadiq Khan. Man, how he's destroyed London. It's so sad. It is so sad what they've done to London.
Babies who's died. And I'm being arrested.
Yeah. And, a bunch of babies were killed. Speaking, from an Israeli perspective, I understand where you're coming from, darling. And I got so much respect for her. Now we're going to see how really shitty they are, right? Look, listen to this.
They're just arresting people for no
They should just pick out anybody.
reason.
No violence. They haven't done anything. They protested. They peacefully protested. Man, and they don't recognize what peaceful protest fucking looks like. This guy, by the way, they vilified him as an extreme right-wing racist. There's pictures of him circulating now on holiday with a bunch of black people, like chilling out. I don't know, like it's ridiculous. Well, they're just arresting people. Why? Because they want to intimidate you. They want to make you scared. Oh, man, end of days, baby.
I'm literally now getting really worried. So I've got a YouTube channel and I filmed everything I've done here today, and I can prove I wasn't involved in any violence at all. That I've just stood here and filmed.
I'm pretty sure I heard him say just pick anyone out.
Yeah. Well, no, I can prove I've done.
Yeah, it's disgusting, right? It's disgusting. And then, of course, the police created violence, right? Man, that's Such scum. There we go. I don't know. Look at it. You keep punching him in the face. I bet you wouldn't do that if his skin was brown, would you? Right? If it was holding a Free Palestine placard. No. Look at the fucking violence. And again, is Keir Starmer crying about this? Oh, no, thank you. Thank you, wonderful police. Look at this disgusting shit. He wasn't resisting. He was pulling back. But he wasn't being violent. Look at him. It wasn't crispy enough. I'm sorry, mate. It is. On one hand, I'm glad John the White isn't here to see this, right? I'm really glad. On the other hand, I'm like very sad that he's not here to see this. He will be all over this. I've really found myself thinking about him a lot recently, right? Since he passed away. I was watching Deadpool and Wolverine. There was a dodgy copy online, but it is Blu-ray qualities. But I was like, oh, John would have loved that. I've said that a few times, right? For a guy I never met before, right? Let's lighten the mood a smidgen, right? Because sometimes things can get crazy, real crazy, really quickly. There's where is this? This is the one. Yeah, a bit of fisticuffs is better go. Okay, he's up for a fight, and holy shit! Get the fuck out of there, mate. Run! You can't run fast enough. You don't want to get in a fight with that guy. Okay, that got crazy. That did get crazy. And then okay. Then before we move on to the next thing, the coolest water gun of all time, right? The coolest water pistol of all time. Oh, we should do that. Okay, we'll do this, then we'll do that. Fine. And then we'll get. Man, I want one of these. Freaking awesome. Look at this. Oh. If I did have one, my boys would use it. So my boys who are combat trained veterans, right? Combat vet would use it, and okay. This is a real exchange. Let me see if I can find it. Fine. Here, 1 second. Let me share the screen. Share screen. So fine, this is my son coming home tonight or tomorrow, maybe tonight, I think, from Gaza. Been in Gaza a long time, right? So he's like, he's knackered, right? He's been in a long time. How long has he been in? This is what 22 days, like 22 days in combat. That's a long time, right? 22 days. And man, he was in real serious combat this time. Like he said, this time I was scared. Okay. Yeah, he was like right in a center of a chat, right? So 22 days. Now his brother, who is an officer, he said, "What? Only 22 days? 22 days? You pussy!" Right? So then this started, right? That's my brother. That's his brother. That's my son. And you see, he very creatively and beautifully drew many penises around his head. Right? This is what the reality of combat and war is, ladies and gentlemen. It can get this. It can get this crazy. It can get this absolutely insane. To which he then replied, and he did this. So maybe it's good I don't have that water gun, right? Maybe that's a good thing. Don't know what to tell you, baby. Don't know what to tell you. But okay, gun rights. That's the other thing. I just saw the greatest explanation of gun rights. Check this out. And we're getting close to the chat. Oh, there's all this Trump stuff I want to... Okay, there's about 5 minutes of Trump stuff I want to get to because it's freaking awesome. Then we'll get to the chat. Then we'll start ripping the piss out of Rossi Davis. Because you know what? He so deserves it, right? So deserves it. Where is it? Dwayne, check this out.
Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense, that no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods,
just remember the Klan were the Democrats.
You just might need that semi-automatic and all 30 rounds.
I'll give you that then. So who's this? Jerome Davidson for Congress? Dude, I don't know who you are, but I hope you get in, mate. I hope you get in. I like you. So, speaking of strange things in politics, who we got over here? Trump. Again, I'm loving this 2024 Trump. He went to a conference of black journalists, right? And this was brilliant. I guess he was such a master at this.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are quote,
he's just like, I can't wait to get go into it. But I like how much more reserved he is now. Like, he's not talking over anyone. He's just waiting for them to finish. And
stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
By the way, what a ridiculous journalist that is, right? This was a room full of black journalists. What a ridiculous journalist that is. She didn't state any facts. She said, he had a dinner with a white supremacist. Yeah, what's his name? Miley Yiannopoulos brought in a white supremacist into a dinner with Trump about 3 years ago because Miley doesn't like Trump, essentially, and wanted to screw him over, right?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't
listen to the crowd. Listen to how much the crowd did into him.
Even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
Okay, listen to the crowd. It's awesome.
And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black...
By the way, something he doesn't mention now, which I think was one of the most significant thing he did for the black population, is prison reform. He did an incredible prison reform so people wouldn't be caught in a revolving door of criminality, right? I think, which I thought was brilliant.
Entrepreneurs have done so much, and, and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And
so true.
I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and
Wait. Please, Donald, go a step further.
I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you...
He's just smoked that woman. And, literally everything she said wasn't true.
I have answered the question.
She's like, he called the DA, an animal because Alvin Bragg is. Like, how is his skin color relevant to him being an animal? His actions is relevant to him being an animal.
With another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Wow. Okay. That was worth the derailment. So then it starts to get it does get crazier, right? They ask him about is Kamala Harris a DEI candidate? Now, I thought they thought DEI was a good thing, not a bad. So if she is a DEI candidate, who she appears to be, why isn't that a good thing? Right? Don't they like DEI? Aren't there DEI departments everywhere? Isn't DEI a good thing? So I don't know. How can you relentlessly promote DEI? Like relentlessly. Yeah, and then say, how dare you say this person is a DEI hire, which she hasn't won any elections.
We'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what?
Yeah, no, that's not a definition. That's just what the acronym means.
Your definition?
Give me a
definition then. Would you give me a definition of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that
No, you didn't.
President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know. Is she?
And people are freaking out about this. How dare you cast aspersions on her parentage, her ancestry?
Indian, or is she Black?
She is always identified as a Black woman. She went to a historically Black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a Black person.
Just to be clear, sir,
I love the way he says it. He's so funny. Let me see that again.
She became a Black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct.
So, okay, let's look at these two things, for example. Firstly, DEI. Is DEI a bad thing? Well, let's find out. Let's talk to George Takei, because he would know. He would totally know.
Optimism and joy, and she is the very personification of diversity. You can see it in her, and her diversity embraces.
So is George Takei a racist? Right? Should he not use the word to laud for being diverse? Right? Again, they want it every fucking way.
The world, from Jamaica all the way down to South Asia, India, and beyond that, what she has done proves her embrace of diversity. She has officiated at over gay weddings all over.
Okay, well that qualifies anybody to be president, I would have thought. So yeah, I don't understand. Is it bad to be a DEI hire because you set it up that lots of people will be DEI hires? If it's a bad thing, why are you doing it? Right now, is she Indian or is she Black? And I love them. This is how. Okay, this shows how much Trump controls the news cycle. Is she Indian or is she Black?
We're going to cook today. Okay. Is an Indian recipe.
Mindy Kylie. Yeah. Maybe you can help me. I want to write the worst version of Scooby-Doo ever.
Yes. Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about.
I thought she was black. Oh no, now she's Indian.
To have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian, but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people we're related already, so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food.
Yeah, because she's Indian. I don't know. But the truth is, what is Kamala Harris? She's whatever she needs to be at any given time. Check out this comparison of Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, both putting on accents to please a crowd.
Feel no ways tired.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
They're the same picture.
Yes, they are. Yeah, here's the thing. Politicians used to be able to do that before the age of the interwebs, right? They used to be able to do that. But now, not so much, right? Because it all gets cut. Like they could do that when they control the legacy media, right? When they had complete control over what everybody saw. Then then they could totally get away with this, right? 100% get away with it. 1 second. Nowadays, not so much. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.